So let's talk really briefly about the LM curve, and we'll start with a definition of what it is, right? The LM curve is a reduced form way of capturing money market equilibria, right? So it captures monetary equilibria. This is unlike the IS curve, which is going to capture goods market equilibrium. So let's draw a money market. And this money market is going to be a function of M and I. You'll notice it's not P because here we are assuming sticky prices, right? You must have sticky prices in order to have an LM curve. If prices are flexible, then monetary operation, monetary pressure, monetary disequilibrium is flowing through the price channel as opposed to affecting interest rates. So I'm putting interest rates here on the vertical axis because of the assumption that prices are sticky. We're going to draw a money supply, and that is coming, of course, from the central bank. And we are going to draw a money demand curve, which is a function of the nominal interest rate, the real interest rate, inflation expectations, and the size of the economy, right? And the idea here is that this monetary market delivers some interest rate when we have some y0. So in principle, if I drew this in y and r space, I could plot this point as y0 and I0 minus pi e, right? That's the corresponding real rate. Now, if you imagine that I increase the size of the economy to y1, what happens with y1? Well, our bigger economy leads to more monetary demand, and so we get, at y1, a correspondingly bigger interest rate, right? So at y1, we now have I1 minus pi e as the real interest rate. And so this point happens, and the LM curve is just, if you imagine doing this over and over and over and over again, right, what you would get is you would get an upward sloping line going through there. So in words, what I've sort of graphically done here is say that the LM curve is therefore showing you that interest rates rise as the economy booms, right? And vice versa, right? Because of financial market pressure. When the economy is booming, it creates more money demand, and that drives up interest rates. So now let's think about using this LM curve, right? We're going to use this LM curve to actually say something about economic dynamics. So if I draw my markets again, and I'm going to remember to label my axes and stuff like that, I'm going to draw a money market with I, a money supply set by the central bank, PTMD. I'm now going to draw IS-LM equilibrium, right? And this is just a short run model. We have IS and LM, right? We have some initial nominal rate, I0, which implies a real rate based on inflation expectations. And now we could imagine, say, that the central bank is going to increase the money supply. This is the classic example. They shift the money supply over, and that leads to a lower interest rate. And this lower interest rate is lower for all y, right? So for this level of, wrong curve, for this level of y, and this level of y, and this level of y, and this level of y, we all have lower interest rates, and that would lead us to shifting the LM curve down, right? Now, here you'll notice that what's happened as we've moved down this IS curve, right? We've come down this, so that was not a good line. As we come down this IS curve, right, we're moving down this point from our original equilibrium 0 to this new equilibrium 1, you can see that the economy is expanding a little bit, right? And the interest rate is coming down. And so ideally, you might say, remember that this is a function of these three things. You're going to get a little bit of adjustment here, right? Because we want these things to line up. And so you might get, well, PTMD is maybe going to increase a little bit, because of the economic reaction to line up the interest rates. But that's not a shift in the LM curve because it's the response to the interest rate dynamics as opposed to a fundamental shift in behavior.